In this video, I'm going to show you three different methods of factorizing quadratic equations. We're going to look at basic quadratic equations, and what I mean by that is ones which lead with an x squared first. In the next video I'll put up quadratic equations where there is a number in front of the x squared. So to go to the first method on the left hand side here we just call it opening brackets. So quite simply what we'll do here is we will open up two pairs of brackets. There must be two numbers in each of these brackets. Now, the first number in each bracket must multiply to give you x squared. So the only way we can do that in this case is by putting in x and x, okay? The way we'll choose the second number in each bracket is from this 18, well, also to do with the 9x in the middle. But let's have a look at the factors of 18. So we'll need to see what are our factors of 18. So 18 could be 1 by 18, 2 by 9, or 3 times 6. The next thing to look at would be the signs, okay? So we have a plus here and also a plus with the 9x, but let's just have a look at the plus 18. Because we have plus 18, that means that the signs we choose are going to have to be the same. So we have to choose either a plus and a plus or a minus and a minus. Now, because we have plus 9x here, that means the two signs are both actually going to have to be positive. So with the two positive signs, we need to pick a pair of factors which will add to give 9x. So we have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, or 3 and 6. The only pair that will add to give 9x will be 3 and 6. So we can go ahead and put in 3 and 6. As I said, it'll have to be two positive signs because we have the positive 18 means it have to be the same sign, and the positive 9x means they're both going to have to be positive then. Just one other thing on that positive 9x, because that's a positive number there, that means that the two numbers out of the pair of factors are going to have to add to give 9. What we'll see in some of the later ones is if there's a negative in front of that number, you'll have to have two numbers which subtract to give that. So when it's positive 9x, they must add to give that. So now let's have a look at the second method, which is sometimes referred to as the cross method. Now this is very similar to opening of brackets, just as a little bit more of an illustration, I suppose. So we'll set up with literally just drawing a cross. Now we need four numbers, again, one at each end of the cross. Now it's essentially quite similar. We might see more differences in these when we look at the more difficult quadratic equations, but let's just go ahead and do this. So the two numbers on the left here, similar to the first type, must multiply to give x squared. So that would have to be x and x again. And the two numbers that we choose on the two boxes on the right will have to be to do with the plus 9x and the plus 18. So again, we'll look at the factors of 18. Now I'm just going to rob my factors of 18 over here. So we have our factors of 18 there. And what we need is very, very similar to the last. We need a pair of factors which will add to give the 9x that's in the middle. Again, because that's a positive 9x, it means the two numbers must add to give 9. So that means it's going to have to be 6 and 3. And then because it's a positive 18 here, it means our two signs are going to have to be the same. We have to have a positive and a positive. So it must be plus 6 and plus 3. Then we'll write our answer as x plus 6, x plus 3. So same final answer. It doesn't actually matter what order we have it, if it's x plus 6, x plus 3, or x plus 3, x plus 6. Lastly, we look at the guide number method. Now, this one again in particular is more useful when you have a number in front of the x squared. It might be a little bit long-winded for something like this. Personally, I prefer to use either method 1 or method 2 when we have no number in front of the x squared, whereas method 3 is a little bit better when we have a number in front of the x squared and it's a little bit harder to find the factors. So the guide number, what we need to do is you need to multiply the number that's attached to the x squared, which in this case there is no number, so that's the same as it being 1x squared. So we must take the 1 and the 18 and multiply them together to give our guide number. I'll just call that GN. for guide number. So our guide number is just going to be 1 times 18. Okay, seems a little bit useless multiplying 1 by it because it doesn't change it. But as I said, when we have a number in front of the x squared, that will change things. So we'll then look at our factors of 18. We have them over there. I'm just going to rewrite them here. So we have 2 by 9 and 3 by 6. Now, the difference with this is in the next step. So we're going to have to choose 3 by 6. Sorry, why will we choose 3 by 6? That was important. In the guide number method, you need to choose two factors which either add or subtract to give 9x. So 3 and 6 again will add to 9x. But the way we finish this off is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite our original equation, x squared plus, and instead of 9x, we're going to change it into 3x plus 6x. There, and then plus 18. Now what we do from here is we're going to use grouping. So it seems a little bit longer, but as I said, it will be more beneficial than some of the other ones. So we use grouping. So we factorize this as x times x plus 3. And the second one, well, 6 will go into both of them. And we have x plus 3, which means that we can factorize this. The brackets match, so we can write it as x plus 3 and then x plus 6. So what looks like the longest method, well, it is the longest method for when we have x squared in front. As I said, we will see benefits for it when we have a number in front of the x squared. So I'm going to go show a couple more examples of this with some more quadratic equations. This time the signs are a little different, so it might look like it's the same quadratic equation, but we actually have minus 9x squared this time, or minus 9x, I should say. So in method 1, when we open up our brackets, let's have a look. So we'll open up a bracket here. We'll choose x and x again to give us the x squared. Now we need our factors of 18. Okay, again, we've already seen this. So 18 times 1, 9 times 2, or 6 times 3. Now, these are the same methods, just slightly different with the signs. So when we have a positive on the last number, again, it means the numbers must add to give us the 9x. Okay, so positive on the last number means the numbers must add to give us 9x. So we're going to have to choose 6 and 3 again. Same as the last one. There is a slight difference now because this is a negative 9x. Sorry, highlight that. So this is a negative 9x here. So we have a negative sign with this, which means now the positive sign with the 18 means it has to be the same sign. And then combined with the negative sign with the 9 means it's going to have to give us two negatives here. The reason being, that's going to give us our minus 9x, okay? We can actually check, does it work by multiplying the two inside ones and the two outside ones together and seeing what we get. Two outside ones gives us minus 3x. Two inside ones give us minus 6x. Together that gives us minus 9x. So that is a nice little check we can do when we're opening up the brackets. Second method then we said is our cross method. Same as last time, we'll set up a cross. Again, maybe the cross is actually better when we have a number in front of the x squared. So these two numbers will multiply to give us x. The last two will multiply to give us 18. Again, you have to choose factors. So again, it's really similar to the first method. Choose factors of 18, which will add to give 9. Okay, because this is a plus, they must add to give 9. So 6 and 3 add to give 9, but we still have to be careful choosing the sign. Because it's a negative 9x, it means the two signs are going to have to be negative. Now, why do we actually even use the cross here? The way the cross will work is you multiply along the cross to see, did you get minus 9x? So along the cross there, we get minus 6x. And then along the cross the other way, we get minus 3x. Okay, minus 3x and minus 6x do give us the minus 9x that we want. So we can then write our answer as x minus 6, x minus 3. Okay, last method then is our guide number method. Again, if it's a single x squared, we will treat it as if there's a 1 in front of the x squared. So our guide number, we'll take the 1 and 18, multiply them. Guide number is 1 times 18, which is equal to 18. Okay, again, I'm going to rob my factors from over here on the left-hand side. So I need to choose two factors which can combine to give me 9x. Again, it's going to have to be two things added, but we'll have to have x squared. We'll leave our plus 18 at the end. And now in the middle, we'll have to write this as a 6x and a 3x. Now, just be a little careful because it's minus 9x. It's going to be minus 6x minus 3x. So in this case, we can then use grouping again, same as before. So you'd have x, then x minus 6, and then we'd have minus 3 as a factor, and x minus 6 again. Careful, that'll have to be minus 3 for the two brackets here and here to match. So then that would be equal to x minus 6 times x minus 3. Again, the order of the brackets doesn't actually matter. You could have it as x minus 3, x minus 6. So same answer in three different ways. Now let's go down to a slightly different one. The difference with this one now, other than it being a different quadratic equation, is just the signs again. So let's see. So down. So the difference in this is the sign of the 18, okay, is negative. Okay, obviously some of the numbers are different. We have a 7x now in the middle, but main difference is that sign there is negative. So let's try opening up our brackets again. X and x. So this time, all these factors off by heart by this stage. So we have to look at our factors. Because it's a negative 18, we need to choose two factors which differ by 7. So this is a little bit different. So because it's a negative 18, we need two factors which have a difference of the 7x. So it's not going to be 3 and 6 this time. 2 and 9 will have a difference of 7x. Now, we can put in 2 and 9, then it doesn't matter which one we put in each bracket. We do have to be careful of our sign. Because of that negative 18, the highlighted sign again, the signs will have to be different. So it's going to have to be one positive and one negative. Now, how will we decide which is positive and which is negative? Well, we'll need plus 7x, which means we'll need a total of plus 9x minus 2x. That's be different signs. If we put in plus 2 minus 9, that will give us minus 7x in the middle. Again, same as the last one. To check this, we can multiply the two inside ones to give us minus 2x and multiply the two outside ones. X there. So multiply these two to give us plus 9x. Then we can add the two of these together just to check, does that give us the 7x? Yes, it does. So therefore, this is fine. Now we can look at our cross method for this in the middle here. It's the same quadratic equation. We'll put our boxes at each end. Again, we'll have x and x to start. We'll look at our factors of 18. Again, very similar to the first method. We'll have to choose two factors which differ by 7. So we have to choose our 2 and 9 again. Makes sense. So choose these 2 and 9 again. Okay, so we'll put in 9 and 2. Now what we'll need to do is again pick our signs. So because it's a plus 7x, the bigger one is going to have to be positive. So 9 is positive, 2 is negative. Then we can check by multiplying along the cross. There's 9x, multiply along this cross is minus 2x. 9x minus 2x is minus 7x. So that would give us x plus 9, x minus 2. Again, doesn't matter which bracket is first and which bracket is second. That is our factorization. And then lastly, we'll look at our guide number method. Again, with a single x squared, we'll have just a 1 there. So you multiply the two of them, and we get our guide number. Again, I'll call it Gn is 1 times negative 18, which is equal to minus 18. Now, we will just look at our factors of 18, as in the same factors I have over here. We'll deal with the sign in a second, okay? So we have to pick factors of 18, which again can combine to give us 7x. Because it's a negative, they must have a difference of 7. So we're going to have to choose 2 times 9. Now, technically speaking, if we want minus 18, one of these is going to have to be negative. So when we write it out, we'll have to have x squared. But if you think about it, we need plus 7x, okay? So it'll need to be a plus 9x minus 2x. That's the way we'll get 7x in the middle there, and then minus 18 at the end. So really we're choosing minus 2 times 9 as our factors of our guide number. Then we'll use grouping. So x times x plus 9 minus 2 times x plus 9. Now again, similar to the previous one, it must be a minus 2 for us to actually get x plus 9 and x plus 9. Remember, with grouping, the two brackets must match. 2, you could take out as a common factor, but then our brackets would not match. So it must be minus 2. So we'd have x plus 9 and x minus 2 as our answer. So 3 different methods of solving quadratic equation. I've only looked at the basic ones. The next video I post will have numbers in front of the x squared, which will be a little trickier. You can use any one of these methods, whichever one you prefer. My personal preference is probably one of the first 2 methods for quadratic equations with that single x squared at the start. I just find them a small bit quicker. So why am I showing you the guide number method if I'm saying it's probably a little bit longer? Well, it's mainly to do with the trickier ones. You'll see a good use for that. The one on the very left, the method 1, is probably the quickest. But again, the other ones will be a little bit more useful when we're looking at trickier quadratic equations.